to apologize. I didn't realize I'd hit my 15-minute time limit. Next time I'll have to set an actual timer. So I'm going to come back. This is part 2 of bank reconciliation, and right here is where I left off. Again, I want to say this in my own terms. We know the difference is $9. I was supposed to subtract $732.26, but I only subtracted $723.26. How do I fix it? And you're correct if you said subtract the $9. So you need to learn how to read this statement like I just read it. Here's what I should have done. I should have subtracted this, but I only subtracted this. So you know that you're going to have to subtract another $9. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Here is my actual bank statement. And let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger there for you. There we go. So up here is the balance from the bank statement. So here's the bank statement side. Here's the book side. Here's the balance from the bank statement as of the end of the month. Hold on, let me get my little pointer out again. Oops, I guess it won't. Okay. So this $816.20 was the deposit in transit. So that was a deposit in transit. What happened was I got my deposit ready. I put it together. I added in my checkbook. I sent Maria to the bank on the way home from work. When she got there, the bank was closed, so she just dropped it in the night depository box. So that means that I think it's already in the bank, but it's not in the bank until tomorrow. So a deposit in transit is a deposit you've put up in your books, but it hasn't made it to the bank yet. You might have mailed it. Who knows why? Then I'm going to subtract any checks that I've already written. And when I've written these checks, I already subtract them from my book side down here. But they haven't cleared the bank yet. And then if I had any adds or subtractions to the bank side, I would put them in here. My total of this column is a negative 728 and change. So I subtract it, and here's my adjusted bank balance. So now we're going to start down here with the same thing. This is the balance in my ledger account at the end of July. Here are all the things added. So that $408 was added because the bank issued a credit memo. Remember that. I got a total of $408. $400 is for notes receivable. $8 is for interest. Then these are all the things that will subtract. That NSF check that the customer wrote me, that's going to be subtracted. The bank charged me $18 for a service charge. That'll be subtracted. And that $9 in that error for that check, I still need to subtract that. So I'm going to net this column and I get $81, which I'll add. And so now my bank adjusted balance equals my book adjusted balance. This is the bank side. This is the book side. So you say, well, we're probably done now. And it sounds like we are. But no, we're not. Because all I did on this screen is actually just add and subtract numbers. I didn't change anything on my books. And so now we have 2 journal entries to do, which are the easiest journal entries to come up with because they only involve whatever happened down here at the bottom of the screen. So only for the bottom half. And if you remember correctly, I taught you that when I get money, I debit cash. So the $408 will be a debit to cash. And when I spend money or subtract my cash, I credit. So all of these will be a credit to cash when I do the journal entry. So here are the 2 journal entries. The first one is for anything added to the cash. So 408 is debited to cash. And you know that, and you know debits have to equal credits. So you know this. 400 is notes receivable, 800 is interest revenue. So here's my credit. I earned $8 and I collected 400 for notes receivable. That's like an accounts receivable, but that's in chapter 8 and I'll explain that more then. So this is when all the cash that's added to my book only. Remember, you don't see any checks outstanding here. You don't see any deposit in transit. Only things added to my book side. Now we're going to go to things subtracted from my book side. So the total is $327. You know that when I take away from cash, I credit. So you already know this journal entry. You know that debits have to equal credits. So here they are broken out. They equal. And here's what you know. Remember, NSF check means accounts receivable. So I'm going to debit accounts receivable. I'm going to debit miscellaneous expense. That service charge is a miscellaneous expense. And then that check error. This was check I wrote. And remember what I said. Anytime there's an error with the check I wrote, it is accounts payable. So here's the journal entry to complete the bank rec. So only after I do this journal entry does things actually change. Before this journal entry, nothing changes.